The Constitution is just an agreement, that the original states or the original colonies put together in order to form a nation so that they can all be part of it. You know, they all came together as one. Um, they needed a government at the time, and that government needed some juice. That government needed to be charged. So, in other words, the government needed power. There was only one place that government can get that power from. All right. One place the government can get that power from, and that was the states, or is the states. Okay. We don't understand that when it comes to the federal government or the presidency and state and local government. We don't understand that. Puppies over there, a little frisky over there, but as I was saying, we don't understand the relationship between the federal government and the state governments and how much power that they have, because the state governments give the federal government power. So if the state government gives federal government power, what is that telling you? What is that telling you? Okay. Where does the power lie? And we're going to get into that. All right. So each state actually, and a lot of people don't understand this or know this, each state already had its own leaders and laws and their own legal system. Hell, some of them, they even had their own constitutions written before the U.S. Constitution, years before the U.S. Constitution was written. So before that, the states held all the power, absolute power. Okay. And in order to empower a central government, which is the federal government, in order to empower them, states had to give up some rights. States had to give up some of their own rights. And generally speaking, states, they didn't love this idea of handing over, parts of their sovereignty, which is really understandable. So, and the reason was that they were worried that a government, that was too far away from the people, with that much power, they could destroy individual liberties. And, so we got the Constitution and things like that. But we'll talk about the Constitution, in depth in another program, okay? Because we really don't understand that document. So in the Constitution, the states created sort of a federalist system where they would share the powers. They would share the powers with the central government and give it a specific list of powers. So because the states, they was tripping, they was freaking out about giving away any power at all, they came up with the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, and it makes it extremely clear. This is why we have to know the Constitution, okay? Most people see me with a bag all the time. I carry a Constitution in my bag. I have a Constitution downloaded on my phone. Constitution's on my computer. It's imperative that we know the Constitution. So the 10th Amendment, like I said, makes it abundantly clear how the power sharing between the states and the federal government is supposed to work. So I want to pull that 10th Amendment up for you so you can see how this works. So the 10th Amendment says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution. Okay. So again, the United States is the group of states together forms the United States. Okay. Your state that you live in is not the United States. The United States is the group of states, which is the country that you live in. Okay. You live in the United States of this land called America. Okay. And that's a whole nother story in and of itself. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole as to talking about who's an American and who's not an American. Okay. That's a whole nother issue. Okay. But let me go ahead and get this 10th Amendment to you straight. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So in other words, on layman's terms, if the Constitution doesn't specifically give a power to the US government or prohibit states from having it, then the state governments or the people keep the power.